Hello and welcome, dear students. How are you all? Dear centers, please report your attendance and we'll begin right away. Hello everyone, how are you? And I hope you had a very exciting and joyous holiday. So starting from the Christmas, I hope you had a lot of fun and spent time with your family and all those things that everybody is supposed to do. So, dear students, we will be beginning with the last part of our syllabus for class 12. Basically, after this, we are going into revision phase also. So, we can say that basically you have had a fun time also, but it's time to get a bit more serious now. Centers, please report your attendance. Shillong Center, please report your attendance. I believe the others are coming as well. I can see very few people today. Everybody, I think, is still in that mood for festivities, right? So tell me, how was your Christmas? How was your long holiday gap? How did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it very much? It's in winters, holidays are so good, like you cannot find them anywhere else. And it feels so good to have holidays in winter because you can eat, you can sleep, and you can just repeat this cycle, right? So tell me, how was your weekend? How was your holiday gap? Did you enjoy it? Shillong Center, you are not responding. Dear students, please send me your attendance and let me know what did you do. Okay, I believe there is a small lag in between your typing and everything. It's okay. Alright. Shillong Center, please respond. I hope your chat is working. If your chat is not working, let me know on the WhatsApp group. You can send me a message if your chat is not working or something like that. I believe there is some issue. Alright, so I'll begin where we left off. We had finished biotechnology, basically all the ethical issues and most of the things we had finished. A small part of that was basically in the last class we had dealt with all of those things regarding the applications of biotechnology and the ethical issues with the basic challenges before biotechnological advancements. So all those things we had nearly completed that. So I will now begin with the last part of this syllabus, the last two remaining chapters of ecology. So please put the heading biodiversity and conservation. Biodiversity and conservation. Biodiversity and conservation. Okay. So when I talk about biodiversity, basically it refers to the collective genetic ecosystem or the small amount of variations that are present between the species. All those things are included in this. So basically biodiversity is a very huge term. It can refer to the ecosystem diversity or the genetic diversity. A lot of things can be included in this, right? So here what you see, a picture of a Sundarban tiger. This is a very large, around 8 meter from tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. It's about total 8 meters in length. This is a huge Sundarban tiger that you're seeing in this picture, and it's waddling around the delta along the marshes and hunting for food. It's basically a very fast and it's basically a very fast killing machine. Anyway, let's start with the definition of biodiversity. What do you understand by biodiversity? Centers, if you cannot respond on the chat, please respond to me on the WhatsApp group. Okay. So what do you understand by biodiversity? Yes. What is the meaning of biodiversity in your language? What do you understand by biodiversity? Okay, I guess there is. Students, you can respond to me on the WhatsApp group. Please respond there. I think there is an internet issue because of which your chats are not able to reach me. I am not having any responses so far. Okay. Alright, let me continue. Biodiversity refers to the genetic diversity, diversity in the genes, or the ecosystem diversity. Sorry, ecosystem diversity. Of all the living organisms that are present in that area, right? So, of the flora, fauna of a particular area. Of a particular geographical area. Okay. So basically we are going to study the variety, the differences, the collective variability in all these parameters. Okay. So this is what we are going to study now. Alright. Now, when we talk about biodiversity, we talk about a lot of endangered species, a lot of extinct species, some exotic species, rare species, vulnerable species. These definitions have been created to assign certain value to organisms which are found in lesser number, which are undergoing some threatened state because of threat to their habitat, threat to their population due to diseases, due to human disturbances, anthropogenic causes, that is, or because of climate change. Okay. So we assign certain value to them, and there is an organization which has included such kind of organisms in a book called the Red Data Book. Okay. And in that Red Data Book, some parameters have been assigned to the organisms. Okay. All right. So let's continue with some biodiversity. Let me show you some examples of biodiversity. Okay. Do you recognize these animals? Okay. This is a lion, this is a cobra, this is a black buck. If you don't remember what a black buck is, you should look up Salman Khan. Okay. So everybody knows that Salman Khan killed the black buck, but basically he is practically innocent because there were no proofs found, or the people who were giving evidence, they were subjected to some sort of torture or something. So they basically did not give any conclusive evidence in this regard. This is a tiger. It's endangered. You know that's a peacock, that's an elephant. Okay. So all these animals you know. This is Asiatic lion. Asiatic lion. All these species are under some kind of threat. All these species are kind of under one kind of threat or the other. Okay. So we have to basically understand these organisms. We will have to understand what's the strategy undertaken by our government or by the collective governments of all the people around the globe. We have to take into account all those things. Okay. So tell me, if you can, what is a threatened species? What is a threatened species? The definition of threatened species. What's a threatened species? I think there is a issue anyway. A threatened species refers to animals, sorry, any species which can be in any of the following categories. Any of the following categories. So what are those categories? These categories are critically endangered, endangered, vulnerable, okay. So basically the threat level is increasing. These are threatened species. Okay. Now, how will you save a threatened species? If some species is undergoing some kind of threat, how will you save this organism? How will you save this species? Because you people are not answering, so I'll make up for that. You will give that organism some protected area under which it can be protected. Okay. So, in order to save a species, in order to save a species, it can be saved by either number 1 or A, ex situ conservation, or either by in situ conservation. Either of these two methods, ex situ or in situ. Now we have to write the definitions of both ex situ and in situ conservation. You have to write the definitions of both ex situ and in situ conservation. So what is ex situ conservation? What is ex situ conservation? Ex situ conservation means you are going to protect a species outside of the area in which it is naturally found. So can you name me some ex situ conservation methods? Can you name some ex situ conservation methods? Yes. Dear centers, I think Shillong and Tamenglong students, you both are online. Centers which can reply on chat, please send me your attendance. Yeah, okay, sorry. Chura Chandpur students, I believe you are online now, so you can send me your attendance now. Shillong students are, I think, unable to respond. Maybe their chat has freezed. Okay, thank you, Chura Chandpur. Yeah, happy to see you are able to reply on chat. Shillong students, you can answer my questions on WhatsApp also. I can understand it's very cold right now. Yeah, sorry, what? Tissue culture. Yeah, okay. Yeah, tissue culture is a good method. Tissue culture is a good method. But tissue culture is not by itself such a method. I'll explain why. Yeah, very good. Yeah, thanks for responding. Ex situ conservation is the protection of wildlife. It refers to the protection of wildlife outside of the area in which they are found. Found naturally, basically. Found naturally. Or outside of their natural habitat. Okay. So outside of their natural habitat. So if you are preserving any species outside of natural habitat, basically zoological park is zoo, botanical garden, okay. Tissue culture used to grow organisms, okay, and then after tissue culture you can place it under any kind of bank like a germplasm bank or a seed bank, pollen bank, okay. All these kind of methods can be used, okay. So you can see methods of ex situ conservation. Please pay attention to this because methods of ex situ conservation are asked regularly in objective questions of NEET examination, as well as it is repeatedly asked what is difference between in situ, ex situ. In situ, ex situ, a lot of questions are asked, so please pay attention whatever the language of question might be. So I can give you a lot of practice questions regarding this also. Methods of, I can give you assignments for this. Ex situ conservation. So methods of ex situ conservation are basically gene bank, germplasm bank, seed bank. gene bank, germplasm bank, seed bank, zoological garden. Please do not say museum. Museum is a place for dead animals and plants. Zoological parks or zoo. Neither herbarium. Herbarium is also not for living organisms. Botanical gardens. These are methods for ex situ conservation. Okay. Also, wildlife safari parks. So basically, any kind of park. Wildlife safari park is basically a large zoo. Wildlife safari parks. Yeah, very good, Churachandpur. So basically, these are the methods. Okay. These are the methods. Now there is a very famous seed bank in the world. There is a very famous seed bank in the world. It's called Doomsday Bank. And where is this seed bank located? The Doomsday Seed Vault. Doomsday Seed Vault or Armageddon Seed Vault. So if you read Bible, you will know what Doomsday or Armageddon is. So Doomsday is basically the day when there will be a large scale extinction event because of a meteorite crash or due to some natural disaster. So basically most of the life of the earth will be wiped out. In that case, this Doomsday Seed Vault and some selected spaces where humans can survive, only some people will survive. In that case, the people who can survive can go to this Doomsday Seed Vault, open it, and they can get all the earth's plants which are important for food, as well as some crops also, non-food crops, some ornamental crops also. So basically it is trying to preserve all the exotic, all the endemic species of plants on earth by storing their seeds inside a liquid nitrogen near minus 196 degrees Celsius near containing seed vault, and it is able to preserve the seeds for a very, very long amount of time. Hundreds of years seeds can be preserved here. So basically it will serve as a bank for the future generations. Okay. Doomsday Seed Vault. What is the location of Doomsday Seed Vault? It's a very famous seed bank. Anybody? Okay. Its location has been asked. It is located in Svalbard. Location is Svalbard. Okay. Norway. It represents this Doomsday Seed Vault. It represents the world's largest collection of crop diversity. Okay, so basically there was an international treaty on plant genetic resources for food and agriculture, and about 118 countries have taken part in this global seed vault, and they have contributed their plants, local indigenous plants, food crops, and they have stored their seeds in this vault. Okay, so question has been asked, doomsday seed vault is a method for ex situ conservation or in situ conservation? So we will definitely say ex situ conservation. Okay, it's a very permafrost area. Here in global seed vault, the seeds of world's crops are stored safely for future generations. Species can become extinct and lots of things can happen. So this is a very important thing. It's a recent question that has been asked multiple times because of climate change. Lots of things are happening. Okay, that is the thing. Similarly, there is a seed vault in Ladakh also. In India, a seed vault is present at Changla Valley, Ladakh. Changla, Ladakh. So India has its own seed vault, and the world has its own seed vault. Basically, India's seed vault is for India only. Okay. So basically, seed vaults are built to withstand global disasters. Okay. All right. Germplasm bank, seed bank, all these things are done. Now let's come to in situ conservation, which is very, very important. In situ conservation. Okay. So basically, what does in situ conservation means? It means, it refers to conservation in the natural habitat. Natural habitat. Conservation in the natural habitat. Okay. And then what are the methods for in situ conservation? So basically, the in situ conservation refers to a lot of methods are present here. Example, national parks, sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, Sir, does the location have any special reason why it is in Norway? Yeah, okay. why does this location have a special reason? Actually, in Norway, inside a glacier, on a permanently frozen location, this seed vault is located. Okay, I'll give you the reason why. Look, if you have to store the seeds, you have to store it at very low temperature. Okay, and Norway is a country where basically the ice remains for all year round. The ice never melts in Norway at some locations. The ice never melts. So basically the temperature is already below 0 degrees Celsius. So it is easier for us to open a seed bank there, because the when you are opening a seed bank, you have to permanently freeze the seeds. So if it is already located in such a country where the location is like all there is ice. So basically if you have to decrease the temperature further below 0 also, then also it's very easy. Okay, so you can open a seed vault anywhere where the temperature remains permanently below 0. In Ladakh also, where we have opened, the temperature in that area remains permanently below 0. So there is no extra cost of refrigeration. You take the seeds and put them there. Simple. And if it requires some special treatment like going below 196 degree, 0 degree to minus 196 degree, then you have to make some special arrangement, but still the cost of opening that refrigerator to minus 196 degrees Celsius will be very less. Why? Because if you open it in a hot climate country, there the refrigeration cost will increase very much because the temperature is high. So it's all because of economics. All because of economics. Okay. So you open a refrigeration plant or anything, and its cost of operation continuously it is very, very less. That is the reason why Norway is chosen. If you search for the image, you will see that the seed vault is covered all around, the area is covered by ice. It is situated many kilometers, sorry, not kilometers, many meters below the ice surface, where the temperature naturally by itself goes minus 20 degrees Celsius, minus 51 degrees Celsius by its own. So it's very good for us. We do not need to spend money on a refrigeration, right? That is the reason. Let me give you one more example. So you must be using Facebook and all those things. Facebook is planning to locate its server farms in Norway and some other countries. Can you guess why? Because every server, every computer server, because basically server is an area where the information is accessible. For example, you have an account on Facebook and that account has some information. So Facebook is running a computer farm, and on that computer farm your information is saved in particular area. So anytime you want to access this information, you are logging in from any computer, this information will be available to every place. So servers generate a lot of heat, and these computers have to be cooled down continuously. So basically if you open this server farm in a cold climate country such as Norway, cost of operation is very, very less. Not much people are required to stay there. One security guard, 2-3 more people who are running the administrative job and all these things, they are only required. So basically it's a very low cost operation. Okay. That is the reason. Economics. Sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, okay, and biosphere reserve a lot of questions are being asked in regards to this. Okay, so national park is there, sanctuary is there, biosphere reserve is there. So the question that will be asked from you on your side will be, what are the most common national parks that are protecting the tigers? What are the sanctuaries that are protecting some indigenous, endemic, local fauna and flora? And the biosphere reserves. There is one very famous biosphere reserve from which questions have been asked, and that is the Nilgiri Area Biosphere Reserve. It is located at the confluence of 3 states, okay, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. So that question has also been asked. In fact, it has been also asked in the UPSC, but that is for another time. Let us first concentrate on the Biosphere Reserve. Biosphere Reserve is largest in size. Sanctuary is smaller in size compared to Biosphere Reserve. National Park and Sanctuary both can be fitted inside a Biosphere Reserve. Biosphere Reserve is a very huge area. It's a huge area. Okay. But Sanctuary and National Park, they are comparatively smaller. Okay. So national parks and Biosphere Reserve, basically, let us study about some Biosphere Reserve. Please put the heading Biosphere Reserve. So please write the definition of Biosphere Reserve. It is a spatial protected area in which multiple use of land is permitted. In which multiple use of land is permitted. Now, what do you mean by multiple use of land? So, first try to understand this diagram and then you will be able to understand this problem and what is being asked. This is a diagram of a biosphere reserve typically. This is how biosphere reserves are allocated, their land use. So basically we are drawing some concentric circles like this, this is the transition zone. This is the buffer zone, and this is the core zone. Actually, in your NCERT, this diagram was present, but in the older editions, you might find this diagram. But recently, they have removed this diagram. I don't know what for reason they have removed this diagram. Still, they are asking the questions based on this. So, please draw this diagram. This is the land allocation for Biosphere Reserve. Transition zone is basically the area where tribals can live and they cannot erect any very permanent structures. Very limited permanent structures will be allowed, and that is usually for the forest guards. Okay. To the paid people of the government who are basically protecting that area. Okay. Transition zone, you can erect semi-permanent and temporary structures made from wood or something like that. Okay. So basically it has to be a temporary structure. So basically tribals live there and they practice shifting cultivation, jhum cultivation, that is also called. And they can basically cut the trees, make use of the natural resources, use the wood as building material. This is permitted. Okay. Then there is the buffer zone. Buffer zone, as the name indicates, buffer zone is the area where you can enter, you can use the resources, but you can use the resources up to very limited quantity. You cannot cut the trees indiscriminately. You cannot do that. So there will be a check by the forest guards, and you cannot live inside this area also. Okay. So let us write about these areas. What happens to transition zone? Transition zone. transition zone, where a large amount of human activities are permitted. Where a large number of human activities are permitted. Human activities are permitted. Okay, this is the transition zone. It is also called manipulation zone. You can also write one more name for it. It is also called manipulation zone. So either you call it transition zone or you call it manipulation zone. Next is the buffer zone. So let us write about buffer zone. Buffer zone, where only limited amount of human activity is allowed. Limited human activity is allowed. So basically the people can collect honey, they can collect lac from Lacifera lacca insect, they can collect silkworms. Okay, so these kind of activities are permitted. So basically you cannot damage the environment in a permanent manner. Okay, you can make use of the resources, but you are not able to inflict some kind of permanent damage to the environment. So buffer zone is that kind of area. Then there is a core zone, where only the forest guards and the forest officers are allowed. Basically they only go for inspection only. You cannot enter this area. Okay, so no human activity, and you can say basically human interference is totally disallowed. It is a center where no human activity is allowed at all. No human activity is allowed at all. So basically you cannot disturb this area. All right. So these are the 3 zones of a biosphere reserve. Okay. Now India has about 14 biosphere reserves. So these areas have been identified, out of which the most famous is the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. But that is for another time. Let us write this. 14 biosphere reserves have been identified in India. There is a criteria for this identification. It must have a dense green cover. So this green cover is basically for the animals in India, not the Indian subcontinent. I am referring to India strictly. Okay, because the other countries will not grant autonomy to that. So you must remember some examples for biosphere reserves. Example is Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. And you must also remember the location of this. It's located in Uttarakhand. I've been to this area. And it's an important question for your NEET exams. Please try to remember the name of this. At least 2-3 biosphere reserves you must remember. Another one is Manas. There is Manas river. There is Manas sanctuary also. We will discuss that later. That is for the one-horned rhinoceros. But right now we are talking about the biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserve is something different. Manas is located in Assam. I am sure everybody knows about it. So it's not far from your location, right? So Manas is located in Assam. Then there is another one that is located in Arunachal Pradesh. It's called Dehang Dabang. Okay, so it's located in Arunachal Pradesh. You will know about it, I guess. It's for snow leopards. A lot of rare animals are seen in this area. One of them is musk deer and the other is snow leopard. Musk deer, I think you must be knowing or must have seen also. Sundarbans, everybody knows, it's for preserving the mangroves in that natural delta, the evergreen delta, and for preserving the Asiatic tiger, the Bengal tiger. It's located in West Bengal. Okay. Kanchenjunga. It's located in Sikkim. Kanchenjunga. Yeah, most of the biosphere reserve of the pristine wildlife are located in northeast only. Sikkim. Okay. Then Panchmadi Biosphere Reserve. Panchmadi Biosphere Reserve. Actually, Panchmadi is famous for a very ancient fossil forest. Yeah, a fossil forest has been discovered in this area inside the Biosphere Reserve. But right now, just let's write the location. It's located in Madhya Pradesh. This fossil forest I will discuss later. It's basically living fossil museum and dead fossil museum. Both type of things are present there. Panchmadi was asked in about, I think, 2015 or 16. The question has been asked. Dehang Dabang, I'm writing this for you because normally the questions are asked which are non-repetitive. So Panchmadi was asked previously, but I'm not sure they will ask it again. However, Agastya Malai Hills. Actually, these are a group of hills found in Kerala. And there is a question asked from this. I'll let you know about this. There are more, but I'll only discuss on this. Now these are Agastya Malai Hills. You can also write in bracket. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. The most important biosphere reserve, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. This is very, very important. In UPSC also, this has been asked, so it has gained a lot of importance recently. Reason being, its area is humongous. Its area is really huge, and it includes 3 states. 3 states have assigned parts of their jungles, parts of their forests, just for this area. And these 3 states are Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Why it has become so important? There is an area inside this. It's called the Silent Valley. Okay. Silent Valley. Now, please tell me, whenever you, let's focus on what you know. Whenever you enter into a forest or a jungle, what is the first thing that you can hear in the night? What is the first thing that you can hear in the night? Can you give me an idea? If you enter a isolated area, okay, so what is the first thing that you can hear in the jungle? It's the sound of an insect called the cicada. There's a chirping sound, okay. So just like in our homes we have the crickets, in the jungle there is an insect called the cicada. Cicada sleeps for many years, 10 years, 5 years. In America, North America, there is an insect which sleeps for 17 years. Then it breeds and goes back to sleep, or sometime later it might die by itself also. Okay. So they have their own biological clock. But anyway, Silent Valley is a special area in this biosphere reserve where there are no cicadas. The reason is not clear. If there is no cicada, there is no chirping sound. There is no constant chirping sound. Okay, you get me? The question was asked, why is Silent Valley called Silent Valley? Because it does not have any cicada insects. Okay. So it is located inside this Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Right. Let's continue. National parks and sanctuaries. Under this we will write later about Silent Valley also. National parks and sanctuaries. India has 14 biosphere reserves, 90 national parks, and 448 wildlife sanctuaries. Biosphere reserve we have already done, 14 biosphere reserves. So please write. National park and sanctuaries, they are basically in situ conservation methods only. India has 90 national parks. We will have to remember the names of these national parks. And 448 wildlife sanctuaries. Okay. And there is one more method that I have not mentioned here. There is one more in situ conservation method here that I forgot to mention. It's called sacred groves. And in NCERT, there are mentioned some special sacred groves from the northeast. And we'll talk about that later also. Sacred groves. Okay. So, what do these national parks do? Basically, there's a national park represents an area smaller than a biosphere reserve, and sanctuary is even smaller than national park. Okay. Sanctuary is even smaller than national park. So basically, the main difference in them is regarding area only. Okay. The main difference is regarding area only. National park is intermediate, sanctuary is even smaller. Now we have to remember some important national parks of India. Important national parks of India. So, very important national park, one of those is Kaziranga. I guess everybody knows about it, right? And you must have known already the reason why this is so famous. It is famous for preserving the rhinoceros. National Park, located in district Sibsagar, Assam, for rhino. Corbett National Park, Nainital, Uttarakhand. Corbett National Park is the oldest national park of India. It was the area where basically Jim Corbett, a very famous hunter, who killed a lot of man-eater tigers and man-eater panthers. His stories are famous throughout the lands of India. He was a very brave hunter, and he did not like killing animals indiscriminately. He only killed when it was necessary. He did not like hunting lions and tigers, but only when the situation became out of control, when man-eaters were eating lots of people and harming a lot of people, only that time he took arms and used to hunt them down. So his exploits are very famous. He killed a famous tigress of Champavat, which had killed about 448 people in India. A single tiger. Imagine killing 448 people officially. The unofficial record suggests it killed about 1,000 people. So it was during the time of British India, and the Britishers were worried that what is happening. So this was the brave man who killed all those man-eating tigers, and that brave feat of killing the Champavat tigress, 448 people in India, about 568 people in Nepal, officially, that was killed by Jim Corbett. Corbett National Park. It's in his memory. You can read his exploits, his stories, how he killed the tigress. There is a very famous book called The Man-Eaters of Kumaon. Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand, India. I have been to this area. And I have read his books also. Uttarakhand. It is for preserving tigers. Saving tigers, sorry. Gir National Park, Gujarat. It is for saving lions. Then there is Kanha National Park. Kanha National Park, and it is located in Madhya Pradesh, MP. Kanha National Park, MP. And it is famous for preserving tigers. It is famous for preserving cheetal. It's a spotted deer. Spotted deer. It's a very beautiful spotted deer. Chinkara, another variety of deer. and four horned deer. It's a very beautiful, magnificent four horned deer. And for panthers also, but panther is not endangered anymore. Panthers are increasing in numbers steadily. Then there is Nanda Devi National Park. Nanda Devi National Park, I'm writing NP for short. Okay, let me write the full name only. Nanda Devi National Park, Uttarakhand, UK, not United Kingdom. It's in India. Okay, it's for white tigers. Some albino tigers are being sent here. Bandipur National Park, Karnataka. Karnataka. It's for elephants. Elephants. Tigers also, but mainly elephants. You can write tiger also. Then there is Desert National Park. Desert National Park, Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. Okay. And it is for Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard is very, very important. It's a bird which builds its nest on land in some abandoned fields or agricultural fields. And Great Indian Bustard and for black buck. Black buck, you remember, the same deer that Salman Khan shot and ate it also. Shooting and eating and running. Okay. These are some national parks that you must definitely know about. So, and you should also know which animals they are protecting. So, main of these is Kaziranga and Jim Corbett, but Gir also. But others, at least you should see once, and maybe that question, if it comes, so you can answer it. After this, we have to study some important wildlife sanctuaries. Some important wildlife sanctuaries of India. So, what are the important wildlife sanctuaries of India? There is one very famous bird sanctuary in India, which is known all around the world for its variety of birds, and people from all over the world come to see this bird sanctuary. It is called Kevladev Ghana Bird Sanctuary in Bharatpur, Rajasthan. Kela Dev, Ghana Bird Sanctuary, Bharatpur, Rajasthan. So it is important for preserving Siberian crane. Sorry, important for protecting Siberian crane. And Siberian crane is basically not of India. It's basically a foreign guest that visits India every year. Because in Siberia, there is about for 8 months, the soil is permanently frozen. The rivers are frozen. So about 8 months, it is a permafrost condition in some areas. For some areas, the permafrost is only for 4 months. But in that time, the Siberian crane cannot find food. So because the area is covered with ice everywhere, so it cannot hunt the fishes, it cannot hunt the insects, it cannot hunt the worms. So basically, it has chosen to migrate to India following the migration adaptation. So migration occurs in this area and it finds a lot of refuge here. So lots of Siberian cranes, the white, the blue, the grey, the reds varieties, a lot of varieties of cranes are there. They come to India in search for refuge. And then there is a sanctuary which is very famous. Dachigam Wildlife Sanctuary. Dachigam Sanctuary. And it is important for preserving Hangul. Hangul or Kashmir stag. And the musk deer. Musk deer, you know. Musk deer secretes a chemical called muscone. It's a complex organic ketone, and this musk is secreted in the form of musk pods. It is located in the navel. Yeah, we all have a navel attached to the place where umbilical cord is attached. Inside this area, there are some musk pods, and without killing the musk deer, it is possible to just insert your hand there and take out the musk pods one by one. And musk pods are very, very costly. It's basically the source of some very pleasant chemical called the musk. In Hindi, it's called kasturi. And this musk is sold at about 10 times its weight in gold. It's so expensive. Previously, basically there is a formula how to sell this. So basically, if you put it on a weighing balance and what is the cost of this musk, it's 10 times the weight of that musk pod. So you can understand how costly it is. Okay, now I am not sure it is 10 times, but I am sure it's about equal in the weight in gold. Okay, then there is Periyar Sanctuary. Periyar Sanctuary. And it's in Kerala. Yeah, Dachigam Sanctuary is in Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. Periyar Sanctuary is in Kerala. And it's for elephants and hornbill. elephants, and hornbill. Hornbill is a bird with a very large amount of it's having an enormous beak. Then there is Chilka Lake Bird Sanctuary. Then there is Manas Wildlife Sanctuary. Manas is most important. Manas Wildlife Sanctuary. Manas Wildlife Sanctuary. Assam. It's for tigers, as you already know. Now, for some special notes. There is some special thing that we must know. Do you recognize this animal? Give me a second. Do you recognize this animal? Yeah, it's a very cute looking animal, and it happens to be a red panda. The red panda question has been asked again and again. This is a red panda, Himalayan red panda. This is a Himalayan red panda. Himalayan red panda. And this red panda, it's endangered. It's endangered. Basically, it's under threat of extinction. And where it is being preserved, found in Kanchenjunga Reserve, Sikkim. Kanchenjunga Sikkim. Okay. So red panda is actually very important for your exams. Some special animal, one more special animal is Asiatic wild ass. Wild ass, look, everybody knows what an ass is or a jackass is, but what about Asiatic wild ass? The naturally wild variety of ass, and it's a very different species, and it's an indigenous species. It's not found anywhere else in the world, and it's also endangered. And it is found in Run of Kutch, Gujarat. Okay. Great Indian bustard. It is critically endangered. Critically endangered bird. And you know that it's basically hunted for its flesh. It's found on the Indo-Pakistan border, and because whatever population of the bird is present on their side, they are always going to eat it, and we are trying to preserve it. But the other countries is not cooperating. You know why Pakistan does not cooperate with India in any regard. So it does not want this bird to survive maybe. But we are trying to help this population, the bird population, to grow, and let's see what happens. Anyway, so my time is up. In the next class, we will discuss about Silent Valley Red Data Book, genetic species and ecological diversity. Lot of other things will be discussed. Okay. So thank you, dear students. Thank you for your time. We'll meet in the next class. Okay. Thank you, and have a great day.